Roads boiling at you dry. Yeah, Rock Gut screaming, Mad D. Joining me on the phone right now is the man himself, D. Calhoun. What's up, brother?
Oh, you know, man, just loving life, living the dream.
Are we all?
Still in post-Doomfest depression.
Yeah, you know, it's sad when it's over. You know, when I left, I had to leave Saturday, so it was kind of depressing to me that, you know, I wanted to see Mangog, I wanted to see Foghorn, I wanted to see Wasted Theory, I wanted to see Moss Generator, you know, and I was like, man, this sucks. I couldn't get Monday
right
off, you know.
JB does a great job of dispersing that lineup, you know. You look at one day and you say, oh, wow, Friday, you know, there's The Obsessed, but, oh, wow, there's Place of Skulls on Saturday, and, oh, my God, there's Moth Generator. You know, it's just, you know, there's not one single day where you can go and you, like, blow your load that one day and you're good, because there's something there every day to check out. It's so cool.
Well, from the first band to the last band, there wasn't a bad band. It was amazing. Everybody brought their A game, and it was just a great weekend, man.
Right. My time there this year was a little limited. I didn't get to go on Friday, and I only got to go part of Sunday. But that was my experience year one. Last year, I was there from the first chord of the first band all the way through till we closed Sunday night, you know, with Iron Man.
Right.
And it was the same thing. There was no lull in the action. Everyone just stepped up and just brought it, and it was so great.
Right. How was Sunday night? I didn't get to be there. Was the crowd just as packed and good as the other two nights?
I was there early on Sunday. I was only able to see Mangog and Flummox, but there was a big crowd there that early for those guys. And I'm told that overall the crowds were better this year each day. You know,
Friday was nuts, man. Friday night, that place was just packed. You know.
I know. I was at home with my son, and I was looking at photos popping up, and I was simultaneously just bummed that I wasn't there, but I was so happy that it was doing so well.
Yeah.
You know, I kept sharing photos that people were posting. I'm like, look at all this support for original music. This is awesome. You know.
Okay.
So happy to see that, because you face it, if it does well, it means we're going to do it again next year, and that's.
Actually, I haven't heard a thing about them not doing one next year, so I've heard nothing but positive things. And JB and Mark can't wait for next year, and I can't wait for next year, man. I can't wait to see what they come up with. Another 33 bands, you know.
Yeah, same here, and I can't even imagine the undertaking that it is. You know, just you get about a week's worth of rest, and automatically it starts again. You know, it's definitely not something that you're like, oh, it's April, let's start getting Doomfest put together. No, it's
it's day after.
It's a labor of love, man, and those guys, you know, love it. They put their hearts and souls into it, and I can't speak highly enough about JB and Mark and everyone involved with that.
Yeah, well, I looked into doing a one-day around here, Midwest Doomfest, and I'm like, I don't have time for this. You know, it's just like, no way, man.
Exactly. I mean, it's like a second full-time job.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah. So, I tip my hat to them. Glad to be a part of it, and glad that you have the temperament and patience to do it. I know, I seriously doubt that I would. So I'm glad guys like you exist who can do it and will do it and do it well.
Yeah, they
do it top notch.
It was one of the most smoothest. Besides Days of the Doom, this is one of the smoothest shows I've ever seen put off without a hitch. You know, it was amazing. Just the stage crew was great. You know, they were boom, 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 everything on and off, every band. You know, the back line was cool. It was just very well put together, man. I couldn't be prouder to be part of an event like that.
Absolutely, and you know, I heard you mention earlier that there are no rock stars in this scene, and that's so refreshing. You know, that everybody's just cool and supports one another. It's just, you know, I tell people that, you know, I look forward to these events, you know, one, because, you know, to play, two, to see so much other great music, but three, you know, this is the only time of the year for some folks that you get to see them. And that's I think, that's what rises to the top when it's all said and done. You know, you think, yeah, it was a great gig. It was, you know, great seeing this band or that band. But I think what really sticks with you is, like, I got to sit and talk with Tony Spillman for a while and found out that, you know, he was an aspiring professional baseball player when he was young.
Actually, he was.
And I was an aspiring baseball player when I was young. So we sat there, and I could sit and talk baseball for hours and hours and hours. Yeah. We sat there and had a nice chat about baseball. And that's the kind of thing I think that rises to the top and is what really sticks with you. And that's what makes these kind of events so special.
Yeah, and it was like that all the way around. There was a few people there. I could assume they were first timers, or they don't come to these shows often. You know, Wino was there, and Eric Wagner was there Saturday, and there were some people going, you know, trying. I'm like, just go say hi, man. You know, they're cool with it.
Right.
You know, don't be afraid. Right. Don't be like, I can't do that. No, go say hi. You know, it was. And by the time they're done talking to them, they're pleasantly surprised how cool they were. You know.
Yeah, they're just dudes. That's what I say. They're just dudes. You know, they're happy to be here, and you know, guys like Wino and Eric, you know, definitely have more mileage on the scene than I do. But you know, they're just as happy to be there, and you know, just having fun, and just they love seeing everyone.
Right. Well, let's get to D. Let's get to Screaming Mad D, man. We rolled up Saturday, like I said, and you guys were standing outside unloading your car. You and Little Hoon, and we got to talking. The doors weren't open yet, you know, but you kicked it off. You looked eager, like let's get in there, let's do this, you know, and you really, it was just great to see you up on stage with Lou, and bringing your son up there was very something special.
Thank you. Yeah, this whole thing has come together in a lot grander and greater way than I would have ever imagined. I've done acoustic shows for years, but up until late last year, I always would go out and do covers. I would do some heavier songs and strip them down, you know, just songs that people would hear and go, wow, I can't believe you played that acoustic. You know, like I used to do a Children of the Grave cover acoustic, just kind of mellow. You know, think of the Snowblind cover we did on Saturday and apply that kind of mellow smoothness to Children of the Grave. It was kind of like that. And just, I used to go out and do Dreamer Deceiver acoustic, and, you know, just things like that. But, so I've been doing this for years, but transitioning into doing original material. And just being around this town is such a hotbed of just great musical talent, and you know, just hoping I would be accepted into that, you know, as a different kind of artist than what I do with Iron Man. And it's been really good. You know, the performances have been well received, the songs have been well received, and having my son involved with it, you know, both on the record and you know, this was the second time he's come up and sang with me live, and it's just really cool. And he was signing autographs.
Yeah, I saw that.
Back
awesome.
In the merch room, and he was just living it up. He says, Dad, how much of a cut am I going to get? And I wanted to say, you're going to get just as much money as I do, son.
You're here for my agent.
That's right. And then Lou just dropped out of the sky a couple months ago. I really didn't consider having a sideman for this because I felt like an additional person is just another person to worry about. Yeah. And Lou called me up, says, dude, I want to play with you. And, you know, he got the gear that he needed, and we started working songs, and that's been great. Plus, Lou is just such a joy to be around. I can't say enough good things about him either. Rob Queen said the other day, he says, Lewis is a positive force. And I said, that's the best description I've ever heard yet.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, other than damn sexy beast, but we won't go there.
Nice. Now, you did the whole album yourself. Everything on the album is just strictly you.
Okay. There are a couple guest spots. Of course, you know, Rob did vocals, a little vocal bit on Little Hoon, Daddy Hoon. I had a cellist come in, do the cello part on at Long Days In. Excuse me, the last song on the album. I had a cat come in and do some harmonica solos. I did some harmonica, he did some harmonica. But aside from that, everything is mine. I did all the guitars, percussion, keyboards here and there. Of course, all vocals, and wrote everything with the exception, Unapologetic, the opening track, was an Al Morris riff that I stripped down and embellished on and added to. And Winter a Dirge, which is pretty much just a vocal piece with a little bit of guitar in it. That's a very, very old poem that I put a vocal melody to and recorded just with the sound effects in the background.
All these songs and tracks, something you've had laying around for years, you just never brought to fruition, or is this a newer group of stuff that you just had?
This, when I started, there was never a moment where I said, okay, I'm going to do a solo album. It all kicked off in the later part of last year. I lost a friend to liver cancer, and the weekend that she passed, I had Rob with me and had to kind of keep on a good face for him. And the way that I emoted was I wrote a song, Sincerely Yours, and it ended up on Rock Gut. Recorded that the next weekend, put it out there for in her memory and for our circle of friends. It was very well received. So I also had Little Hoon sitting around. So the next weekend I said, I want to record something now that's kind of happy. And anyone who knows me and has followed me through the years knows that that's a rare task for me to write something happy. So we recorded that. And then it just kind of went from there. But as far as songs laying around, I think there were four of the songs that ended up on Rot Gut were actually written when I started recording. A lot of stuff the song Rot Gut was written during the process. Backstab to Backwater was written during the process. Cast Out the Crow. At Long Day's End, the last song, everything was recorded and mastering was scheduled, and I was sitting around on a Saturday, and bang, that song came to me. And within a period of about 3 hours, I went from nothing to having the full song demoed. And I sent it off to Argonaut. I said, look, I have a head start on the next one. And he hits me back. He says, is there any way you can get this on this record? So I took a day off from work, recorded the song, and then pushed mastering back a week. So it was pretty much just 4 songs were written. Everything else was written as the process kind of unfolded.
And you ended up with an LP instead of an EP.
That's right.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 songs on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
it's like once the finger got pulled out of the hole in the dam, everything just kind of burst out. And I started working on a new idea today. So there's some new stuff floating around that's either demoed or partially demoed or just just waiting to be polished off.
Right, it's true. It doesn't. You don't just land on a song. It's all of a sudden there's an inspiration. You hear people saying, "I woke up at 3 a.m. and wrote a song." That's because it was fresh. If you wait till morning, oh fuck, I forgot all about it. What the hell, man?
Yeah, I've done that with short stories where the idea hits, and short stories lyrics too. The idea hits, and I've written lyrics on my drive home from work where I've just using voice text and just speaking lyrics into the phone just to have them for reference. You got to strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah, I've done that also. I've got the little voice recorder with me and go back and listen later. And sometimes it doesn't sound as good as it did when you said it. It's like, oh, that sucked. Erase that. But
right.
Speaking of your writing, you actually sold out of your book at the Doom Fest.
Yes, that I couldn't believe that. I was very, very happy about that. It's a weird item to have at a merch table at a rock show, and I took 15 copies with me, and I debated on ordering more for the show, and I thought, it's people were there to listen to music and whatnot, and then there were at least 6, 8 more people who came up, and I had to. We sold out, so I said, now I'll order 50 of them and be stuck with them for 10 years.
The D. Calhoun Maryland Book Club.
That's right. Well, JJ wrote a book, and so I didn't feel as bad. I'm like, do you have a copy of yours? He's like, no. I said, well, see, you can't give me hell for not having a copy of mine.
That would have to feel good, like you said, that it sold out that quick. I mean, it was quick. And I saw them on your table when I walked by, and like, they're gone, man. I'm like, wow, quick.
Yeah, Lou was like, dude, people are buying the book. You know, how many you got left? And at that point, I think there were 4. Yeah. And I don't even have a real copy for myself. I still just have the proof copy that I had to go through to, approve for publishing.
Right. I think I said to you that, it doesn't have to be something over the top, famous, out of this world. If you're an interesting person with an interesting story to tell, people are going to read it,
Right. I had people coming up saying, "What's the book about?" And I, well, it's short stories, mostly horror, but some sci-fi and whatnot. And they were intrigued. It's. And I think a degree of it was folks who were like, "Hey, this guy made the effort to do this. I'm going to support it." And that to me, that's the lifeblood of this business. Supporting artists and their endeavors, and that's what keeps it going.
Before we roll down the road here and forget about it, where can they pick up the book?
Books on Amazon.com. Just go in and search D. Calhoun, and actually it and Rotgut will pop up now because Rotgut's on Amazon as well.
I'm a Prime member. I can have it by tomorrow.
There you go.
Amazon Prime. So what's going on with Iron Man?
We're playing this Saturday at the Pinch in D.C. This will be our first show since November. We started rehearsals up a few weeks ago, blew the dust off, and we're going to get down there, shake the roof, do what we do.
Just a mutual break, or just everybody just got busy?
Well, Al has a leg injury that's been nagging for years, and it finally reached a point where and it's still being tended to. He's in a leg brace now for the time being, but nothing wrong with that playing.
Dave Grohl sat in a chair. Axl did the same thing.
Yeah. Hell, I sat in a chair on Saturday.
Yeah, there you go. See, it's chair time.
So we're going to start booking shows again, and then start getting new material, fine-tuned and finished up, and try to get new Iron Man music out sooner rather than later. So
yeah, we're still rocking South of the Earth.
Oh yeah, good.
That's a great Love that.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that I listen to, and I'm like, wow, I did that. I as being a part of it. It's like that's pretty much the album I wanted to record my whole life. And finally got to do it.
I got that right after Days of the Doom 3. I saw you guys there, and I always tell the story. You guys packed everything you had into this maroon minivan. There's you, Al, Lewis, and I'm damned if I forget your drummer's name every time, man.
Mott.
Yeah, you guys are just all packed in this minivan in Appleton, Wisconsin. I'm like,
yes,
that's a sight to see.
Yeah, I actually flew out to Milwaukee. I worked that day and caught a flight. First time I was ever patted down at the airport because I had put, when they did something, a red flag went off. They took me back in the little room, and I'm like, you know what? When I get felled up before a show, I'm used to it, being somebody a lot better looking than this dude. And it turned out, they finally asked me, they said, did you put any kind of lotion on your face or anything? And I said, actually today I did. And that was what set it off. So no hands in uncomfortable places or anything. Got on the flight, got out there. And that was a fun show. I really wished we could have stayed for Saturday as well. But yeah, we drove up to Appleton and then packed up from Appleton. We did not spend the night. We drove back to Maryland.
There's not much.
That was the worst and longest day.
Yeah. Well, at least could have got out of Appleton, got back down towards Milwaukee a little further for the night. But,
yeah,
not much going on. I was up by Appleton today. I was up in Oshkosh. It ain't far from Appleton. Not much going on.
Yeah.
Country USA was going on, but that's another story. But,
exactly.
Well, cool, man. It was really good running into you. Man, I'm glad I got to see you out there live, and I've been hearing about this and listening to your solo project here. It was really cool to see it live. And the fact that you shared the weekend, or actually that day with your son, and I shared the weekend with my son, it was just, I can kind of be on the kind of the same plane with you. How cool that is to share. You know,
that's the name of the game, man. That's what the song's about. That's what that song's about. And that was a scary song to put out there. It is so sentimental, and it really is against everything that I've really done before. You know, to go that route, and it's very refreshing. It makes me very happy that people have responded well to it. You know, Al heard it and says nobody's writing songs like this anymore, and I'm just real glad it's been that all of it has been well received. It's certainly more than I ever hoped for.
Well, it's awesome, man. It was great to see, and it was great to see you, man. I hope it's not 2 years or next time. You know, it's been
absolutely.
It's been
I
about
agree.
2 years.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, no, almost 3. The Days of the Doom 3.
That was 2013. Yep.
Oh, wow, shit, 3 years. How time flies, man. Well, I hope I see it within 3 years this time, man.
Yes, sir.
We'll get out there soon enough, man. So, hey, everybody, D. Calhoun, thanks for your time, man. Pick it up, Screaming Mad D, Rock Gut. You heard him, Amazon. You can get the book, you can get the CD, and anything else, D. Get that good stuff, man. T-shirts, everything. Can you get the T-shirts there, or that's on something you got going?
T-shirts and that kind of stuff is still shows only.
Okay.
That's a work in progress. I want to get some kind of a mail order set up with that because there has been a lot of interest expressed in it. So the people speak, I listen.
Right on, man. Cool. Check it out. Get the stuff. Thank you, Dave. We're going to end this up with Backstabbed and Backwater, man.
Thank you, sir.
Right on, brother. Thank you.